Hi everyone, Boruto Eggs is back with another video. Today I'm gonna scale Boruto in his true Karma essence form. Without wasting any more time and useless talking, let's start with the power scaling part of the video and see the real strength of Boruto in that Karma state. In order to understand how strong is true Karma essence, Boruto, we need to take a look at the people he fought in that mode first, and then see where they scale at. Sadly, for now, Boruto has fought only against Limiter's code when using that mode, but that's more than enough to give a valid scaling for his strength. Let's take a look at their fight and see how well Boruto performed against him. When Code started to use his white Karma, he basically no-diffed Karma v1 Boruto. Kawaki even stated that Boruto in just his Karma v1 was no match for Limiter's code. After getting beaten up by Limiter's code, Boruto was forced to tap into his true Karma essence. And that's when the fun began. The moment TKE Boruto rushed at Code and started to throw punches at him, Code instantly saw the difference from before and he was getting pushed back by Boruto's assault. Code decided to back off and surprise attack Boruto with his claw marks, but Boruto, after having lost all of his shadow clones, was able to grab Code, pull him from his claw marks and punch him in the face. Kawaki was literally shocked that Boruto was so strong. He was asking himself how was that possible that Boruto was still the one in control of his body after having shown such feats. Even Code himself was shocked by Boruto's strength. In fact, after that brief exchange of blows, he immediately asked Eida how Boruto had gotten so strong out of nowhere. Eida responded to Code by saying that thanks to Amada's meds, Boruto was able to channel Momoshiki's power better without his consciousness getting hijacked. Eida even warned Code to fight him seriously, since he would have not been fun if he lost before gaining his former strength back. After that, Boruto and Code kept fighting each other, and Boruto was clearly overpowering him. He was so close to getting defeated that even Eida warned him right after he dodged Boruto's vanishing Rasengan. That's all we have for now, since right after that, Boruto had an heart attack and Momoshiki took control of his body. Now, after all those panels I've shown to you, I think it's pretty clear that TKE, Boruto and Code were at the very least relative in strength and speed, with Boruto having the slightest edge over him. So right now, I'm going to scale Limiter's code in order to see where TKE Boruto sits at. We know that even with his limiters on, Code was considered Jigen's strong right-hand man. When Kawaki and Boruto were trying to find a solution on how to defeat Code, Kawaki stated that Code was stronger than both Boro and Delta, and that he wasn't an opponent that you'd normally want to go up against. Code being stronger than Delta is something that was stated multiple times, even way before the Code arc started. When Code was asking Eida how he could remove his limiters, he stated that even with them on, he could have probably been able to kill Naruto and Sasuke in a 1 versus 1, but he wanted to spare himself from unnecessary hardships. It's important to note that Code didn't know that Naruto and Sasuke got nerfed at that point, so he was referring to their 6 paths and Rinnegan forms. Code being as strong as Prime Naruto and Sasuke without counting Baryon mode is not far-fetched, as after the fight between Jigen versus Naruto and Sasuke, Jigen asked Code to guard the 10 tails, meaning Jigen was confident that Code would have been able to protect the 10 tails from Rinnegan Sasuke. During the new Team 7 training session, Kawaki thought that they would have needed 5 to 10 years in order to catch up to Code by using conventional training methods, proving again the difference in strength between Code and the other Kara members. Kawaki thinking that is important because him and Team 7 already fought against a Kara-inner, Boro. But Kawaki thought the gap between Code and Boro was so massive that they would have needed 5 to 10 years to catch up with Code. There is even this anime original scene where Boro got threatened by Code, and he instantly followed his orders, knowing that he was no match for him. When Amada was trying to convince Kawaki to let himself reconstruct the karma that he lost the arc prior, Kawaki asked Amada if Sage Mode Naruto without Kurama stood a chance against Limiter's code. Amada, one of the smartest characters in the whole Naruto/Boruto franchise, responded to him by saying that Sage Mode Naruto would have probably lost in a 1 versus 1, proving everything I said prior, right. When Code and Eida were discussing about when to attack Konoha, Code reconfirmed the fact that he could win in a 1 versus 1 against Naruto and Sasuke. And again, he didn't know that they got nerfed post his Shiki fight, so he intended 6 paths Naruto and Rinnegan Sasuke. We can definitely confirm that Code was on 6 paths Naruto and Rinnegan Sasuke's level just by the fact that he was stronger than Delta, and the same Delta could keep up and fight equally with 6 paths Naruto. Now I'm gonna debunk some stupid claims Delta/Boruto headers use to try to downplay her and say that even Kara overall is weak too.
Naruto was already beating up Delta while he was in his base form.
That's wrong. Delta wasn't going all out at first, as we saw her getting rid of her cloak and fighting equally against a stronger version of Naruto right after. Delta got enraged after Naruto tried to fool her and started to go all out. Naruto verbatim stated that he was going to get serious too, so they were both trying and being serious at that point.
But Naruto wasn't going all out against Delta as stated by Kawaki. Naruto's strength far surpassed her.
That's ridiculous, because Naruto was in his strongest form, and the fight was going back and forth. We even saw him using his Lava Raisins Hurricane, the same he used against Madara in the war when he was going all out too. And it basically did nothing to Delta, since she regenerated right after being hit by that. Also, as we saw before, Naruto himself stated that he was going all out, and Kawaki reconfirmed that right after. Show all the dialogues, not only the convenient ones when power scaling. Thanks. If you are way stronger than your opponent, you don't wait for them to waste their energy in order to create an opening. You simply surclass and beat them easily, something that Naruto couldn't do. Now, why wouldn't Naruto go all out in order to save his daughter? These 2 pages alone confirm the fact that Naruto and Delta were equal in speed. After Delta tried to kill Himawari, Naruto started to get upset, proving again that he was serious. Delta even stated that Naruto was getting out of breath. You don't get tired without trying hard, so it's again implied that Naruto was going all out. Delta was still able to react and absorb jutsu from that same enraged Naruto.
But Naruto here said that he was holding back in order to keep her alive.
This is simply a panel took out of context. In the chapter prior to that statement, Naruto overloaded Delta with his massive Rasengan, meaning he could have done technically anything to her. But in order to defeat her, he opted to use a Shushuo Dama Rasengan, meaning his physicality alone wasn't enough to finish Delta off. We have also external material supporting the fact that Naruto was indeed going all out. In the anime, Kurama said that Naruto is at his strongest when he's fighting to protect someone. In this case, he was protecting Kawaki and his son/daughter. So yeah, he was at his strongest 100%. Here we have another statement of Kara members having power similar to Naruto, and the fact that the battle between Naruto and Delta was a hard-fought one. Now that I proved that Delta scales to Naruto and that Code scales above Delta, we can confidently say that TKE Boruto is in that class of strength too, as he was able to keep up and even overpower Limiter's Code in some instances. In terms of speed, if we talk about cross-verse battles, it's pretty simple. Momoshiki has a calc of him being able to absorb chakra from the parallel universe he created. That feat was calced to be around massively faster than light. Plus, keep in mind there were many calcs, but each and every one gave an absurd value of speed. Still, they are not below billions of times faster than light. Every character who's relative to fused Momoshiki in speed scales to that number in speed. As we saw before, TKE Boruto should be as fast as 6 paths Naruto, therefore as fast as fused Momoshiki. AP scaling wise for cross-verse battles, we appeared before that this version of Boruto scales above the likes of Base, Momoshiki and Kaguya. Base Momoshiki and Kaguya have both feats of creating dimensions with planets, moon, a sun and multiple stars in. Those dimensions were shown to have a day and night cycle, and Sasuke could feel the heat coming from the sun in Kaguya's desert dimension, proving that those celestial bodies were real. It was confirmed multiple times that both Kaguya and Momoshiki had created their dimensions. The creation of said dimensions would put them in the solar system tiers of power at the bare minimum to the multi-solar system ones. I know that some idiots will say that Kaguya didn't create her dimensions, because the data book skin says that she assembled them, but that's not the case at all. What Kishimoto did was using figurative language, something that he frequently did when writing Naruto. The kanji tsumugu now figuratively translates to create, and that's what Kaguya did with her dimensions. Why was it impossible for Kaguya to have assembled her dimensions? Because we know that Heretsu enclosed the power of all creation, and the power to destroy and recreate the entire world from naught. And yeah, it's not reshape, since the kanji right here, tsukuri keiru, translates to remake. It's impossible to assemble something from nothing. We know Kaguya was going to recreate her dimension right after having destroyed it completely, meaning she had no materials to assemble in order to recreate her dimension. So yes, she could destroy and recreate them from zero. We know that makes even more sense, since the kanji used right here means zishi, and zishi refers to the Buddha's laws of creation and destruction. In the Boruto novel number 3 Shinobi no Yoru, Momoshiki caused a supernova. In the novel, it was stated that the sun was dying. The sun was in fact undergoing a supernova. The dying sun emitted a synchrotron radiation. The star in question seemed to be illuminating, like how a star does post a supernova in the anime. Supernovas emit synchrotron radiation. Also, yes, once a supernova goes through the cataclysm shockwave, it's still called a star. Momoshiki causes its supernova because otherwise he would have not transversed to a dying star, because all the people there would have been dead, so there would have not been anything to harvest. However, it was explicitly stated he'd already used them to create a chakra fruit. Now we can establish it happened after his arrival. How was it not a natural occurrence? There's nothing natural about it. If the sun was going through a supernova, the conditions would have not been right, especially with a lot of asteroids flying around. The supernova would have killed the population millions of years ago. But there was a population when Momoshiki arrived. He arrived not that long ago. Since the event of the novel is on a timeline, we know he hadn't been there for millions of years because other things had happened prior on the timeline. So that means a supernova just happened impossibly quick, therefore it's implied that Momoshiki caused that. Oh, and by the way, this particular novel is part of Shon's official Boruto Naruto Next Generation timeline that confirms the fact that is 100% canon to the main storyline. A nova will put off a pathetic 1/10,000th of its mass in the explosion. With a supernova, it's pretty darn close to 100%. The mass will be traveling in all directions at about 30,000 kilometers per second, which is 10% the speed of light. Blasted cataclysm will briefly outshine the entire galaxy. In a few months, a supernova will emit as much energy as Sol will over its entire lifetime. Type 1 or Type 2 supernovas emit about 1 pho, which is about 1040 for joules. So in conclusion, it's solar system level plus for supernova or hypernova. Base Momoshiki scales to that value, since he was the one who made that supernova, and it's consistent with the feats that we saw before. The dimension that Momoshiki created is way larger than our common solar system, since the actual distance from just 2 of the 4 stars in his dimension is larger than our own solar system. And that's a low ball. Naruto and Boruto characters can even be scaled higher than solar system level, since Kaguya's dimensions were stated numerous times to be spacetimes, therefore 4-dimensional constructs. Creating and destroying them like Kaguya was doing would obviously put her in the universal plus tiers of power. The notion that Kaguya's dimensions are so big was reconfirmed in the Boruto the movie novel, since Momoshiki held the power to send people in different hyperspaces, and they likened those hyperspaces to Kaguya's dimensions, meaning once again that her dimensions were 4-dimensional constructs. And since Momoshiki created the dimension they were residing in too, and that same dimension was referred to be in hyperspace, Momo in base is universal plus 2. Kaguya's dimensions being at least infinite 3-dimensional constructs was reconfirmed in the Ninja Storm for Naruto game, and yes, this game was proven to be canon since Kishimoto was directly involved with all the implementations done in it. In the game, Databook is stated that Kakashi was cutting through time and space. To cut through time and space must be present, implying that Kaguya's dimensions were spacetimes. Let's take a closer look at her dimensions in the game. Not only are there stars and nebulas, but there are also redshifts, which means her dimensions work on an expansive universe method. Her dimensions also have a blue shift, which could imply a collision course with another galaxy, similar to the Andromeda and Milky Way 1. So yeah, her dimensions are, at the very least, 6 three-dimensional universes. Oh, and by the way, in Boruto's chapter 79, Momoshiki confirmed the fact that Kaguya created her dimensions, since Otsutsuki's with the omnipotence can create universes casually, as stated by Momo. Now let's take a look at the abilities and hacks of Boruto in his true karma essence. Obviously, the Shadow Clone Jutsu, he cannot spawn more than 4 clones in this form, but they are all as strong as him physically, so it's like fighting against 5 Borutos. The common Rasengan, which is a form of durability negation, as shown in the hospital fight between Naruto and Sasuke when the Rasengan was able to travel through the opponent and blow out through the back. The vanishing Rasengan that, if combined with Boruto's high intellect, can leave the opponent with fatal injuries. The high compression Rasengan, which is way stronger than the common one, therefore it should be way more effective in terms of durability negation too. Boruto can use the Gentle Fist, and since in his TKE form he has the Byakugan, he can target the internal organs better, like a true Hyuga is capable of. Boruto has access to the 3 basic chakra natures. He can use lightning-style jutsu such as the thunderclap arrow, he can use wind-style jutsu such as the gale palm, and lastly, he can use water-style jutsu such as the surging sea. Boruto can absorb any kind of energy attack created by the user of it, thanks to the Karma Seal, and he can send enemies to other distant and unforeseen dimensions with that same karma. He can even implant his own karma into his enemies since he's a full-fledged Otsutsuki now, so even if his opponent is stronger than him, he can ignore that by marking him with the karma and reincarnate in him sometime later. Boruto is obviously a very skilled and intelligent fighter, and that's not something to write off when fighting against him. The only downside of this true karma essence mode is its time limit. If Boruto is stronger than his enemies, he can surclass and kill them instantly. But between fighters of the same level, Boruto would eventually lose since he would fall down and have a heart attack in just some minutes. Keep in mind the fact that we haven't seen Boruto's true karma essence after he became 100% Otsutsuki. Just his Karma V1 version got boosted so much that now he can use giant Rasengans in just, and I repeat, just Karma V1. Like, imagine what would he be able to do right now in this true karma form. To summarize everything I said, TKE Boruto is as strong as Limiter's Code or slightly above. Therefore he scales above Delta, the same Delta that scales above Kaguya and base Momoshiki. As we saw before, both Kaguya and Momoshiki created their hyperspaces, making them Universal Plus. So TKE Boruto, by extension, scales to that level too, since he's stronger than them. He's in the MFTL Plus tier of speed too, as we saw before, and he has a fair amount of hacks and abilities. Anyways, the video ends here. Thanks for watching. If you've gotten that far, like, comment, subscribe, and share for more videos like this. See you next time. Peace.